Right, I'm gonna prepare this car for its first outing with its modified engine. I've since the other engine is toast, and I've got to look into how repairing it, and what I'm gonna do, whether it's a new engine or new mounts, a different type of engine, or may get original engine. I don't know. I'm looking at my options at the moment, but I was given this from a guy that had a chassis with the engine attached to it, and he's actually done a modification with the engine. You can see there he's modified a mount where he's put this mount onto the chassis, and then he's bolted this engine to the actual mount. If you have a look underneath, he's drilled extra holes here so he can mount this mount. It's not in the correct position, it's just a little bit out, but it fits very well. And he said to me that he'd been running his Mad Force like this for ages and it was fine. He just sold it. He basically broke the car and sold it as it is bit in bits. So I bought various bits of him about it. This is the original plate that goes into this car, and all these holes are original. So basically I just took the engine. The engine was already attached to the modified plate, so I just took the plate out, put it all in there, and then just attached everything to the plate. It just made it easier for me to do that, then actually do it separately. So I did that on the last video, and you see it looks like a mess, but it actually goes back together quite easy because it's only 2 screws on this part. You don't even need to take the 4 screws off here like I did. Oh yeah, you do. 4 screws here, 2 screws on this side, 1 screw on this side, 2 screws for these parts, 2 screws for here, for the I can't remember what they're called. I think angle stays, I think they're called, and then 2 screws for the actual bar, and that's it. It just slides out, and then you slide the next one in and put the screws on top, and also you've got to do the servo underneath. So the servo screw sits there. That's just 1 screw that comes out. Slide it all out. Everything kind of drops everywhere. Slide it back in and you just bolt things up, and you're not really moving that much. Nothing should really move. Everything goes back to the position. But after I did it, I noticed that this clutch bell moves up and down when I move the 3-speed gear. So I'm going to address that now before anything happens. I don't want anything else to happen. So you can just see, I don't know if you can see it here when I move it. Let's have a look, see if I can do it. So you could just see that 3-speed clutch bell moving up and down. It's worn, so I'm going to address this now. I don't want it like that, to be honest. So the way I'm going to take this engine out is actually from the bottom, because these screws have nuts, are quite long screws, and they have nuts underneath. It's kind of like a void here, and the nuts actually stop here. And to take these out, the nuts drop out in this. The nuts drop out in this little void here, and it's really difficult to get back in. So you're better off just undoing these main chassis engine mount nuts and just pulling the engine out. It's just so much easier to do that. So I'm going to do that now. It's going to be on a bit of a time lapse, and then after that I'm going to change the glow plug, because I've got a brand new glow plug. So the last time I started the other engine up, the glow plug died, so I'm actually going to change this glow plug. I've got a new one to go in there. Even though this is okay, I'm actually just going to change it. Pull starts fine. Yeah, look, good compression. It's good to start up. I've got the Skyfly receiver in here, so that's all set. Let me just pull this thing out, pull this all up. I'm just going to pull that up there to make that a little bit longer, get a bit of reception. I should glue this into the box, but I do plan to put the original receiver, sorry, in there. So I'm going to put some fresh AAAs, or I've got a humpback. I might put a humpback. I keep on saying humpback. Humpback on charge in there. So I just want to see. I'll see about that. I think because if I crash, usually these break. If I crash, this goes into about 1,000 pieces, and the humpback's a little bit stronger. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this apart, have a look at this clutch bell. Where's mine? Here they are. So I've got some small bearings in here, but I think I've got one less that I need. So I've got my old bearing set in there that I've kind of refurbished. I've got one that's the shields are missing off it, so I'm going to put it in the middle somewhere. Just for now, I'm not going to run it up and down for hours. I'm just going to wash out this tank with this nitro free. I left it in there a little bit too long, so I'm going to wash this out, make sure everything's all right, make sure there are new lines in here. Just depending on, I may wash out the carb and all that. The engine seems pretty clean in there. I've looked in there. And I'm just going to wash out the coat, because I left, this is new nitro fuel, so it's not too bad. Ain't been in there that long, so I might wash this out and then wash it out a little bit and then tip some new ones in there. But it's just to get it running, a standing run. It's almost like before, leave it to maybe burn a whole tank, standing still with a couple of blips, really slow, and then come back, run it again, and then just do blips and make sure first gear is fine, this is fine, this is not moving away, engine is adjusting towards the gears a little bit more. That I'll be checking a lot for, and then once I'm confident this is not moving or anything like that, I'll blip it up and down. And see what happens, and see when I start to get confident a little bit with it, then I'll start to drive it a little bit more. But for the first start up, it's just going to be a start up, standing still, a couple of little blips while standing still, make sure the brakes work and all that kind of stuff, maybe a few adjustments like that, and then we see how it goes. So it's going to go into time lapse, get all this done, get it all charged, and that'll be it for the night. So just to stop filming, you see now that clutch bell's not moving up and down at all. It's a lot stiffer because the bearings are new, and also, you know, obviously when I opened it, I don't know if you saw, I had 3 bearings in the front but a roller bearing in the back. I took the roller bearing out and put 4 bearings in, so I had enough bearings in there because the old bearings were pretty good, and they're metal sheeted. I've got rubber ones in here which I'm not really happy about, but that's all they had for it to be posted out quick. So now the mesh is a lot tighter in. Still a little bit of a gap there, but the mesh is a lot tighter, but it's all overall more stiffer because the bearings are pretty new. They need wearing in a little bit and then they'll become a little bit loose, but I'm happy at that. You can see no movement now. When I do that, there's no movement, so I'm happy with that. So back to the time lapse while I put everything back together and check the glow plug and other things like that before I go to start it. So